evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome inside the friendly confines of Dr. T. Kermit Tower Gymnasium, the host site for this 2018 holiday tourney presented by First Harrison Bank. It's championship night. The Senators punched their ticket with a rout of the Borden Braves last night in the nightcap, 59-30. Meanwhile, Salem defeated Eastern in the opening game of the tourney, 71-19. So tonight it's the Senators and Lions set to go to war in a highly anticipated holiday remix with the tourney title on the line, and your countdown to the tip starts now. Hello again, everyone. I'm Misty Jones, and joining me in just a moment for tonight's broadcast is Senator Basketball with my sidekick and broadcast partner, Senator Football's own Mark Gibson. Well, last night, Coach Sullivan Senators did exactly what he hoped they would do, and that's defend their home court as they played well from start to finish and led the Braves wire to wire. The Senators, indeed, were able to seize control early and never really were in danger as they were able to take as much as a 12-point advantage on a couple of occasions in that first half and build as much as a 32-point lead late in their romp over Borden. Once again, the Senators got a balanced effort on the offensive end with Holden Bousman and Parker Green leading the way once more with 13 and 10 respectively. Coach Sullivan also had three others knocking on the doorstep of double-digit scoring and a plethora of contributions from guys off of the bench as well. And for the Senators, this has really proved to be their most successful recipe here early in the season. Holden and Parker, get them involved early, let them set the scoring pace, and then let everyone rally around and offer balance and filling up some of those other often overlooked stats. And as I welcome in Coach Gibson to our broadcast tonight, it would appear that most got their holiday wish, their early Christmas wish granted to them as they get a rematch of the Senators and the Lions, a rematch of that season opener before Thanksgiving. In that first meeting, the Senators missed some opportunities against full court pressure applied by the Lions. They battled back, though, from a deficit in that first half, was able to get a tie late in the third quarter, first of the fourth quarter in that game, but just had spent so much energy, plus they shot a gut-wrenching 0 of 8 from downtown in the 51-39 loss. So, Gibby, how did the Senators flip the script here offensively tonight against the Lions this time around and deliver a championship to Senator Nation just in time for Christmas?
Well, I think confidence, first and foremost, is going to be the key. If you remember, in that first game, the Senators came out and Salem jumped into that press right away, and we really struggled. We weren't quite ready for it, I don't think. I mean, we've had some weak passes on the sidelines, and we had some opportunities where we didn't communicate to Holden when he had a guy coming from behind to back tap it. So, I mean, first and foremost is confidence and communication, and, we're going to have to handle that press. So, if we can handle the press and then we get into the front court and start running our offense, I think we're going to be okay. But like I said, we're going to have to make sure we're efficient and crisp and sharp because, like you just said, that first game, we got down double digits pretty early, wasn't it? If I remember right, it was pretty quick, 12, 14-point deficit. So, and, Pekin, Eastern had that happen to them last night. We can't let that happen. We can't let them score 8 quick points off of the press. We got to be able to handle it.
Well, on the flip side, the Lions came out early and built a 22-2 lead against the Musketeers last night in the opener of this holiday tourney en route to a 52-point win over the Musketeers. Salem's pressure did indeed bother Eastern early, as Coach alluded to. In fact, early and often, and the Musketeers just simply got worked on the boards on both ends of the floor. And for the Lions this weekend, really and truly and honestly, anybody would be crazy to believe otherwise. This is all an emotional thing as they send off Xavier Hindigas. He's going to leave the program early, graduate early to start focusing on baseball. So he's going to be gone after this tournament. And for them, it's all riding emotion and trying to send the senior off on a high note. And we know that he's going to try to get his. He played late. He was playing late into the fourth quarter against Eastern up by 50. So tonight, knowing that he's really the pulse, he is the lifeline of the Salem team. How do we change our defensive strategy, or how do we slow him down from the last time around?
That's a good question. We've tried a couple different things over the years, and it doesn't seem like anything's worked. We were talking to our man Jackson Byrne. He went to the New Washington game, and he said, Xavier only had, I think, 10 in that game, but Suvac had like 27. So it's a pick your poison. Do you let X just get his, and just make sure nobody else hurts you? Or do you do you try and play it on us? I don't know. That is a good question. It's going to be really interesting to see who comes out with the matchup with him first, and how they rotate, how they stop him from getting to the gaps. Because man, when he can get in those gaps and either shoot that 5-footer or get somebody cut into the rim, he is super dangerous. So it's going to be really interesting to see what Coach Sullivan and Coach Myers have drawn up to stop the X. And like I said, this is his last game. He's going to be super fired up in really attack mode. So whoever it is, whether it's Holden or Parker or maybe even Harrison, they've got to watch out for early foul trouble.
Well, one thing's for sure, when the Senators and the Lions get together, it doesn't matter if it's a ping pong match. Things get heated pretty quick, and it's certainly hot in the gym. Another packed house here tonight. We've already broke a sweat here on the pregame as the temperature started to rise with both these teams hitting the floor for warm-ups. But as always, we want to take a timeout during our Senator Tip-Off pregame show to not only thank you, the fans, for tuning into our championship broadcast tonight of the 2018 Holiday Tourney presented by First Harrison Bank, but also say thank you to the sponsors that make this and every broadcast of Senator basketball possible. Those sponsors include Eddie Gilstrap Motors, bringing you this Senator countdown to the tip, as well as McDonald's bringing you the Senator halftime report, and Ace Hardware of Salem bringing you our Senator post-game coverage from the Ron Smith Court here tonight, as well as Salem Crossing and Meadowview Healthcare. When we return, we'll sit down and we'll talk to Senator head coach Clayton Sullivan. We'll get his thoughts on last night's win, and we'll get his thoughts on tonight's championship tilt and rematch with the Salem Lions. But first, a 60-second timeout to hear a message from the Indiana High School Athletic Association. You're listening to Senator Basketball tonight in championship action against the Lions on your leader for Southern Indiana sports coverage, WSLM 1220 on the AM dial.
Sportsmanship doesn't happen just on the court or on the field or on the mat. It doesn't happen only in the pool or on the green or the track. It also happens in the stands, on the sidelines, on the web, and at home. That's because sportsmanship is everyone's responsibility. We remind you to practice good sportsmanship at all high school sporting events. Treat athletes and officials with respect during competition and especially in social media. And support your team's coaching staff. Remember, sportsmanship has a face. Yours. A message from your high school and the Indiana High School Athletic Association.
Welcome back as we continue on with more of our Senator Tip-Off pregame show, brought to you by Eddie Gilstrap Motors, just south of the square in Salem, as we get you set for championship night of the 2018 Holiday Tourney, presented by First Harrison Bank, as the Senators and Lions will tangle once again this season, a rematch of the season opener the night before Thanksgiving. And we're joined now in our pregame, as always, by Senator head coach Clayton Sullivan, whose team picked up a big win in the nightcap last night against Doc Nash's Borden Braves, 59-30 the final. Coach, we talked about it a little bit on the postgame. Good balanced effort. Maybe not as much scoring as you've had in the last few ball games overall, average-wise, but still a good night and good balance, which is probably one of the biggest keys to the success here lately.
Yeah, I think that's going to be key in every ball game. You know, one guy just can't put the team on his shoulders every night. You know, if we can get 3-4 guys, you know, contributing to the cause, you know, putting the ball in the bucket, it's really going to help us moving forward. You know, we did not score as many as we did, you know, the prior game. We had 80, then had 80 a couple games, but, you know, the pace was a little slower. We felt like at times we were able to speed them up, and we were able to put up a decent amount of points.
I thought just as good as we were offensively and being balanced, even though it wasn't as high scoring as it's been, I thought defensively we were pretty good too. You look at a guy like Jacob Nolenberg, we held him, I believe, to 4 points on the night. Robinson was fairly quiet with 10 off the bench, so overall I thought we did a good job on our assignments.
We did, you know, and a lot of that I'm going to credit to Coach Myers. You know, we've kind of been talking, he and I, and he's kind of taken kind of some of the defensive things over. We've kind of calling him the defensive coordinator when it comes to things, and he's really taken that and running with it. You know, he's done a lot of research on what we think would be best for our team, and you know, he looks into matchups and the best way to guard. And I think our kids are really taking that and running with it as well. And I think we executed that really well last night.
I thought just the one little area, the one little bugaboo, if you will, and we talked about it again also in the post game, was the free throws. And I know you said that you was going to get in the gym early today, have a walkthrough, and you was going to get some free throws in. So how'd the boys respond through the walkthrough and through their work with the free throws this afternoon?
You know, they did great. We had them come in around 4 o'clock today. We went over the scouting report. We did a short little walkthrough. And then the boys just shot free throws for about 30 minutes or so. And then we came up, we had some food for them to eat, let them relax, you know, kick their feet up a little bit, keep them loose. You know, we don't want them getting that nervous energy going, you know, this early.
Well, obviously, I know they're amped because you turn your attention now to championship night of this holiday tourney, as I said, taking on a Salem team that you lost to 51-39 in the opener, a game that you just had to exert so much energy in there through the first half and even through the first 3 quarters. He was able to get it tied up there once late, but at that point the boys seemed a little exhausted. So we know a little bit about their personnel. Maybe talk to us about what's changed with some of their personnel since that first matchup.
Really the big thing for them that's changed is here lately they've been playing Brody Petmeyer in the starting lineup, and he's kind of, you know, taking on that point guard role. They're letting Xavier play off the ball a little bit more now, take a little pressure off him, and they're also, I know they're trying to get Brody some reps for when Xavier leaves. So, I mean, that makes him a little quicker, a little more athletic, and it, you know, allows Xavier to come off a lot more screens and that type of thing.
Well, obviously, like you said, this is kind of the swan song for Hendigas. He'll be leaving, and so for them, I'm sure emotions will be high. For our guys, emotions will be high, especially with a championship and even more bragging rights than maybe in that regular season meeting on the line. So how do you kind of channel the boys' energy early tonight and keep them under control and keep them playing loose?
You know, that's a tough question to answer. You know, we can try everything we can to keep the boys loose and, you know, that nervous energy, try and keep it down as much as we can. But I think we all know when, you know, the lights come on and they step on that court and they see the crowd, that energy is just going to happen. You know, hopefully we can contain it enough to where we're not, you know, missing some easy shots early. You know, I always say when you have a big game like this, don't be surprised if a kid's throw an air ball over the rim because, you know, that energy, they're amped, you know. So, I mean, we may have to burn time out early just to, you know, bring them back down to earth and get them refocused.
Last night, one thing was clear in their game with Eastern, their pressure was really their focal point, trying to speed up an Eastern team that's lacking some true guard experience and some strong guard play, and they were able to turn them over a number of times, jumped out to a big 22-2 lead. How do you combat that pressure as opposed to maybe that first time around?
I think one is just us being strong with the ball, getting guys to the right spot, getting the right guy to the middle of the floor, and then I think a lot of it is communicating with each other. They're going to look to back tap, they're going to look to run and jump, so our guys got to let the other guy with the ball know that stuff's coming. And then, you know, we also need to break that stuff and score against it. There's no need for us to break it and then pull out and try and run our offense. If they're going to give us a layup, 4-on-3, 3-on-2 scenarios, we've got to be able to take advantage of that.
Knowing that Brody's come in and played a little bit more at the point and trying to spell Hendigas, get him off the ball a little bit, as you mentioned a while ago. You know, some coaches live by the adage that you press a pressing team, kind of turn the tables on them a little bit. Is this an opportunity for you to maybe get after a guy like Brody, and especially if he's handling the ball quite a bit tonight?
You know, we talk about it, and that's kind of our defensive philosophy right now is, you know, whoever's got the ball, you got to put pressure on it. You know, if you're more than an arm length off your guy, you're not doing your job correctly because, you know, that help's going to be there. We got the gaps there. We got guys hedging on screens, bumping cutters. So, I mean, that help's going to be there. We've got to put pressure on the basketball.
one bright spot, when we talk about our bigs, I know they've struggled some scoring and staying out of foul trouble. Jake actually come off of the bench last night. Bobby started for him, and Jake did a good job, I thought, of staying out of foul trouble, playing against a smaller team, which typically he hasn't been real good with here early on.
Yeah, that was just strategy last night. Our fear was that they were going to hold it, and whoever Jake was guarding early on, that they would, take advantage of that mismatch. And we didn't want Jake to, end up in foul trouble, 2 fouls in the first quarter. So we were partly protecting him, and, partly we wanted to amp up the pressure a little bit. And I thought Bobby did a great job of that for us.
Coach, we talked a little bit about their full court pressure from last night. We expect to see it probably again here this evening to try to dictate pace and tempo early. Talk to us about what you'll expect to see out of them on both ends in just the half court, especially offensively.
Defensively, we're going to see 2-2-1, 1-2-2, man-to-man, 1-2-2 in the half court as well. They're going to look to run, jump, trap, speed you up as much as they can. They want to make it a track meet. And then offensively, they cut off screens very well. They'll have a guy at the high post, and they'll cut off him, kind of that wheel action. They'll set some ball screens for Xavier, and they're also, with him playing off the ball more, they're going to look to run him up a lot of screens coming underneath as well.
Coach, we talked about it yesterday. We've talked about it throughout the week at school. Talked to you and Coach Myers both about it, the importance of having this opportunity at home. And you talked about last night, you even mentioned it, defending this home floor and getting that message across to the guys. Before you go out for the final time tonight, what's your message to these boys going into your first championship opportunity?
We're going to talk about, what's your why tonight? Why do you do this? Why is this important to you? And, if you can't get amped up for a championship game and a championship game on your home court and something, we haven't been very successful in this tournament in the past, then you're in the wrong business then.
What about the health of your team entering tonight's championship matchup with the Lions, and what's your lineup look like?
Everyone's healthy tonight. We're going to start Holden Bowsman at the 1, Kay Naples at the 2, Parker Green at the 3, Harrison Sanford at the 4, and Jake Strange at the 5.
So back to the original starting 5 that we've seen most of the season for West Washington. Coach, we certainly wish you, the boys, and your staff all the best tonight against the Lions as you try to even this series for the year and win when it probably matters the most, when a title's on the line.
That's right. Thank you.
Talk to Coach Sullivan after tonight's matchup. You're listening to the Senator Tip-Off pregame show on Salem's 1220. We'll have more in a moment. This is Senator Basketball in the 2018 Holiday Tourney presented by First Harrison Bank.
At WSLM, we congratulate all local businesses, large and small, who strive to be the best at what they do. That's why we'd like to congratulate Steve Montsinger and his entire team at Eddie Gilstrap Motors for recently receiving the prestigious President's Award by the Ford Motor Company for both 2016 and 2017, an award presented to only 340 out of 5,000 Ford dealerships. Through surveys collected, customers rate dealerships on their buying experience and the dealer's commitment to their satisfaction, including after the sale. To be recognized in the top 1% and be Blue Oval certified is quite an achievement, but that's what we've come to expect for a business 80 years strong. Whether you're thinking new or pre-owned, including Ford certified pre-owned, financing rates are very attractive right now. Check out their website at EddieGilstrapMotorsInc.com for big discount coupons on service. 207 South Main Street in Salem. When you want the very best, you want Eddie Gilstrap Motors.
Back we come to the Ron Smith Court as we wind down here on the scoreboard. About a minute and a half left with the team warm-up. So let's look at tonight's keys to victory, brought to you by Eddie Gilstrap Motors, just south of the square in Salem. First and foremost, those pressure points we talked about with Coach Sullivan. Got to be able to attack the middle of their press, fill the lanes, be able to execute our press break and our press offense. Number 2, got to own the glass, continue our good work, especially on the offensive glass, where I think that we've been pretty successful in these last couple of ball games. And then third and finally, same as last night, it's cliche, I know, but in championship games, it's where it really matters most. Got to win the free throw battle, got to win the turnover battle. So those are tonight's keys to victory, brought to you by Eddie Gilstrap Motors. They're a proud sponsor of the Senators on WSLM. Stop in and check out their selection of new and certified pre-owned vehicles on the lot just south of the square in Salem. Eddie Gilstrap Motors is located at 207 South Main Street. Stop in and see a sales associate or call them at 812-883-3401. Should be a rocking good time tonight, Coach Gibson.
Yeah, yeah, that's one of the biggest things. That I was just listening to this Thunder. Coach Nance always has. That's what Coach Bousman over here beside us. Anytime you hear Thunder, the kids in advanced PE have to do a push-up. That's what he calls this Thunder. So I was listening to this and seeing if any of our boys over there are grimacing when they hear this song. But this is going to be a great matchup. Like I said, I think. Judging by the way Salem played last night, I think the Senators in the last few games have played really well. This is it's going to be a nice little matchup, and the first 4 minutes of this first quarter could tell us a lot. If they put the press on and we struggle, it could be a long night for us. If we hit some open shots, it could be a long night for the Lions.
It's time to meet tonight's starting lineups, brought to you by Eddie Gilstrap Motors, just south of the square in Salem. First for the visiting Salem Lions in this championship matchup of the holiday tourney. Mike Brown, in his first season here at Salem, is 4-2, 0-1 in the Mid-Southern Conference. His team averages 57, gives up 50.6. So this is a team that obviously is capable of putting up a lot of points. It could do a lot of damage, and certainly a team that we know is going to come out and pressure the Senators here tonight early and often. We got the starting lineups for the Salem Lions. First on the agenda tonight, they will start Landon Stubak, number 10, 5'10", and a senior at 12.5 points per game. And Xavier Hendigas at 18 points per game, a 5'10" senior. Number 4, Myron Mead will start at a forward. He's a 6'4" junior at about 8 points per game. 32, Shane McGurin, a 5'11" junior, will start at the other forward at 3 points per contest. And the other starter will be a guard, number 21, Brody Petmeyer, 6'1", and a sophomore at about 3 points per game as well for the Salem Lions. For the West Washington Senators, they will have a similar lineup that the Senator faithful have seen for the past several outings. Jake Strange will be inserted back into the lineup here tonight, as we will have Holden Bousman in the backcourt. Coach Gibson, I'm all thrown off here. Got the wrong spot sheet. I don't know what's happened to my spot sheet. Holden Bousman will start though at the point. He averages 14 points per game. He is a 6'1" sophomore. He'll be joined by 5'9" senior guard Caden Abels, who averages 7 points per outing. Up front will be Parker Green at the 3 spot. Parker's averaging about 16.5 points per game. He was coming into the weekend averaging 18, and then up front it'll be Jake Big Dog Strange back into the lineup. He averages about 5.5, 6 points per game for the Senators, and about the same in the rebound department. And Harrison Stanford leads us in rebounding, and he averages 7 points per game as well. So Senators going back with their original starting lineups. And Coach, I'm like a fish out of water here. I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, I know. When you don't have your spot sheet, things get a little tense.
I have broken out.
But you did well just going by memory, because, that's what they, those were accurate, because I had my stats, doing stats last night. This is the original starting lineup from game 1, and it's going to be interesting to see.
There we go, Coach Gibson.
The post kind of struggled in game 1.
There we go.
So let's see if Sanford Strange play a little bit better. And our guards, Abels and Bousman, have to do a little bit better against the press.
Law and order has been restored here at courtside, as my spot sheet, the correct one, is in front of me. It had me in a cold sweat, and it's too hot in here to be breaking out into a cold sweat. Your Indiana High School Athletic Association officials are Mr. Brett Deckard, Mike Pickens, and Tim Walker. Lions in the traveling black uniforms trimmed in gold and white, gold letters and numerals. as the Senators go to work underneath. Harrison Sanford misses his first shot, way off the mark. Senators in the home white Under Armour threads, trimmed in red and blue letters and numerals flying W down the side. In those Under Armour unis, the Senators open up going in the friendly confines on your WSLM 1220 AM dial from left to right. Misty Jones alongside of Mark Gibson, and now with the whole mystery of the spot sheet solved, we're underway 0-0. Nearly a minute gone by. We're going to have a turnover here on Salem. That's going to be an offensive foul.
Mahurin, I think.
And this one's going to be on Shane Mahurin. So Lions pick up the first foul of the night. Mike Brown not too happy with Tim Walker on the call.
Let's see what's, like I said, the first time those are a little bit more confident. First time we saw the press. It's good, nice. Now Holden trying to run things.
Run this down again. Holden, a 6'1 sophomore at 14 points per game. Gives it up to Green. Out front, 6'1 and a sophomore as well at 16.7 to lead the team. Senators come up dry again. And to the other end quickly. Suback kicks out to Meade. Meade has it poked away for just a moment by Holden and Harrison. Meade gets back into traffic. And we'll have a whistle and a foul. The Senators' first foul of the night. Mike Pickens with the call. 24, Harrison Sanford picks up the personal. Abels, a 5'9 senior. I'll get this right now. 7 points per game, 2 boards. Harrison Sanford, Jake Strange at the forwards. Harrison, 6'3 and a junior at 8 points, 6 rebounds per game. Jake Strange, 6'5 sophomore at 6.2 points per game and 4 boards. All discombobulated to start things out, but Lions.
But you did well just going on memory.
Oh, Coach, though, I can't handle that. Some people get by with that. Some people are fine with that. I, on the other hand, am not. As Meade hits 1 of 2, Lions have a quick 1-0 lead. Just about a minute and a half into this one. Parker controls right side, takes it in, doubled, spins, nowhere to go. Has to kick out to Jake, who's picked up by Mahurin. Back out top, it goes to Holden, and he'll reset against Brody Petmeyer. Lions in the half court, man-to-man to start things out. Abels controls left side, took a high screen. They'll slip Harrison, get it to him. His shot rejected by Myron Meade. And those two getting after it, 6'3 and 6'4.
Meade's done a lot better job. I noticed that last night. He's done a lot better job defensively.
Big cheer blocks for both fan bases here. Still a packed house. A lot of Borden fans have stuck around. Eastern fans, not so much. And we'll have a whistle and an offensive foul, which will be turnover number 1 on the night for West Washington.
Be Holden.
And that's Holden's first. Check that. Second, Harrison with 1, Holden with 1. 6-11 and counting. First quarter, 1-0. Salem leads on a free throw from Myron Meade. As Suback controls now again, more off the ball, as Coach said in the pregame, with Brody Petmeyer getting into the starting lineups. Little runner would not go in the lane for Hendigas, but Meade there to clean it up. And Myron Meade has all 3 for the Lions here early. And the Senators facing some full court pressure. Once again, Harrison splits a double team, wild shot in the paint, won't go. Follies won't miss, and went back up and in for 2 off the window. Senators finally on the board.
That was good to get, first game, it took us a while to get that first 2 points up. That was good.
Hendigas now controls, picked up by Holden, left side. Senators in a matchup in the half court. Little man defense for them as well. Coming up on the 5-minute mark of this opening act. Championship night here at the 2018 Holiday Tourney. And Petmeyer underneath had it blocked by the 5'9 senior Caden Abels. And the Senators back in business, trailing it 3-2 as Parker crosses the timeline and angles it off now left side to Abels. Takes a screen, stops, pops, 3 on the way, no good. Missed almost everything, and Hendigas controls the board. Pushes in transition, right side to Suback, back out to Petmeyer, to Meade, picked up out top by Sanford. Back to Petmeyer, to Suback, almost pulled the trigger, instead drives in wild, out of control. Jake tried to stand in for a charge, but there to clean up the offensive glass was Shane Mahurin, and he's got his first points of the night, make it now 5-2. And a reach and a foul. They're going to get Brody Petmeyer, I believe, here at center court. Indeed, they will. So that'll be Brody's first of the night. Team foul number 2.
Boy, I thought Jake did a really nice job of stepping in there to take the charge from Mahurin, but they wouldn't give us. I don't know that the old circle, the rural
restricted area
isn't enforced in high school.
Holden's going to take a drive right side, kisses it off the glass for 2, and he's into the scoring column, make it now 5-4. Back to the other end. Hendigas tries to answer with 3. He's come up dry on a couple of attempts here early. One runner in the lane and one from downtown as Parker controls out top. Gives it off to Holden, looking to Jake in the post. He's picked up by
That's a
Mahura, and
good
Jake
move.
takes him to the rack. Cannot get it to go. And Subak will race it out. Gets it to Petmeyer. Left side, dribble drive, and he'll be whistled for the palming violation. And that'll be turnover number 2 quickly here for the Lions.
I like, Jake on that last time. We complained the whole first 4 games how he just turns and throws his head down and goes up. He turned, figured things out. It was still a nice move. He's just got to learn to finish.
Mahurin will take a seat here to a 2-2-1 full court pressure as Mahurin sets down. We see number 11, Gavin Fleming, a 5'11 junior, check in at 6.5 points per game. Out top, Parker controls, takes a screen from Harrison. They try to slip him against Subak, can't get him. They'll instead go to Holden, and he'll be bumped on the baseline, and that's going to be foul number 1 of the night on Xavier Hendigas. His swan song coming here this weekend as he again will be graduating early and departing from the team over the Christmas break. Another substitution here. Reese McCoskey will check in for the Lions.
Holden's really working the baseline there. I don't know if that's a scouting thing or just an individual.
McCoskey's a 5'10 sophomore, fresh into the game. Holden stops, pops, can't get it to go on the catch from the inbounds pass. And the Lions back in business at the offensive end. They lead at 5-4 here early. 3.5 to go here, opening act. Petmeyer in the corner, picked up by Abels. Takes a screen from Fleming. They'll give it to Fleming against Strange. Now he spins baseline, shoots an air ball right into the chest of Jake Strange. Ball goes flying in the air, and snatching it out of the air was Parker Green. Holden goes right back to Parker now, who works against McCoskey. Holden with a beautiful finish underneath with a reverse layup. And Holden has 4 on the night. Beautiful reverse for Holden as he looks to get things going here early. Senators have their first lead at 6-5. Petmeyer out front, gives it to Mead now, short corner. Back it out now, dribble in, 14-foot jumper inside the elbow, won't go, and Harrison clears the board. And Coach Sullivan thought they were going to get a reach in here on Hendigas. That would have been his second. That would have been huge, but with 2:46 to go on the jump ball, alternating possession will go to the Senators as Hendigas will check out. Mead will check out. Subak comes back into the ball game. We also see 24, Brandon Petmeyer, Brody's older brother, a 6-foot senior, check in at 1.5 points per game. They're still with their original starting 5 out there of Bousman, Green, Strange, Sanford, and Abels. They'll shoot it cross court. Holden, 3 in front of the Salem bench. In and out, no good. Can't get it to go. Petmeyer there to chase it down with Subak as he controls left side. Subak swings it to Brandon Petmeyer, and Brandon Petmeyer takes a little Texas 2-step out front.
Some nerves here, I think, at the beginning. We're at 2:17. It's still 6-5. Great defense by both teams, but I think you see a little bit of nerves too, because that's the third unforced error we've seen.
Jake Big Dog Strange will have his first rest of the night. That'll bring in 5'9 sophomore guard Bobby Stevens. Bobby averaging 3.5 a game for Coach Sullivan, usually in a reserve role. 2-2-1 full court pressure again. Abels splits 3 black jerseys, leaves it off for Bobby underneath. He misses the wide open layup, and we'll race back to the other end. Mead stops, pops, top of the key, way short, grazed the front iron, and Green controls. Holden feeds it in the front court, trying to find Bobby, and then perhaps a travel by Fleming gets away, maybe with a little bit of a shuffle. Subak now in the front court, in and out, no good for the 3, and this pace is frenzied. Coach throws up both hands, and Captain Sully says, let's land this plane softly here at the end of the quarter, slow things up just a little bit.
We had 2 or 3 different run-ups down the floor like the old gel pin kind of struggling
Smoke rolling
on
off the gel pin. Bobby has it in the post against Fleming. Gave it back to Abels. No man's land down there in the baseline. Had to kick it back out. And Holden looking to go against Brandon Petmeyer. Gives it to Harrison. Harrison out top against Mead. Now in the corner, they go to Abels. They fed Bobby. He couldn't get anything again in the post against Fleming. And in transition, McCoskey will go flying in to Harrison. No whistle on the contact. Nice job of Parker saving the rebound. And into the hands of Harrison Sanford. And they'll slow it down again. And Coach Brown already working Tim Walker here as they come back into the front court. Senators with the ball on a 1-point lead at 6-5. Holden, heat check, 3. Couldn't get it to go. Good look, though. Bobby not crashing the backside glass. And Subak now controls it left side for the Lions. To McCoskey in the corner. Now to Fleming. Had it poked away. Abels goes behind the back. Off the foot of Brandon Petmeyer. Turnover number 4 already for the Lions. 25 seconds and counting. First quarter, and the Senators will look to spread things out and hold it for 1.
Yeah, Bobby did a nice job getting his hands in there. You know, he redeemed himself. You heard Coach say that he wasn't crashing the boards like he should be. He's missed a couple of shots, but led to a steal there.
Holden bumped out front, tries to feed it to Parker. That'll be a turnover. Their second of the quarter, 6.5 seconds to go. 32, Shane Mahurin, and 22, Xavier Hendigas check back in for this last possession. Bobby will check out. Jake comes back in for defense.
Yeah, Bobby looked totally nervous in that appearance.
Hendigas, wild dribble, had a shot blocked by Jake Strange, and Parker will heave it into the rafters as the first quarter will come to a close. And the Senators own the first quarter after getting down early 3-0 on a couple of opportunities by Meade at the free throw line and from the field. They roar back and outscore them.
Temple & Temple has a long history of being a reliable contractor that provides a superior service. Established in 1948, two brothers, Walter Temple and Howard Temple, founded this company with a commitment to quality and a knack for doing that which others couldn't. After being in business for 70 years, Temple & Temple still holds true to the ideals of its founder, providing unique solutions to even the toughest problems. Temple & Temple has found there is no substitute for experience and a tradition of excellent work. Excavating, paving, concrete work, and bridge work are just a few of the categories the company has worked within over the years. No matter what the challenge, Temple & Temple will find the answer for your solution.
Back we come as we get ready to open up the second quarter of play. Lions had 6 guys on the floor, a little miscommunication between the staff and Gavin Fleming. He was supposed to be starting on the pine in the second period of play. Senators lead at 6-5 after 8 minutes of regulation as the Lions open up with the rock here in the second quarter. Hendigas out there with Mahurin, Subak, Brody Petmeyer, and Myron Meade, the original starters, and that 3 will rattle home for Shane Mahurin. He's got 5 of the team's 8. Salem has their second lead of the night at 8-6. The full court pressure again for the Lions in this possession. Harrison gets it to Parker, who breaks pressure out front. Give it off to Abels, original 5 as well for the Senators to start this second period.
We got to start knocking down some jumpers. 0 for 5 from 3 in that first quarter. Reminded me of the first game.
Hendigas able to poke it away from Abels on the wing entry pass. 45 seconds into this second period. Again, Salem comes out and hits a 3 to start the quarter, giving them their second advantage of the night. 8-6 your score. Be surprised if this is a low-scoring affair, though, Coach.
Yeah, it looks like we want to keep the possessions down a little bit. Nice.
Underneath, Jake takes contact, finishes off the window for his first 2 of the night. Jake Strange with 2, and we're tied for the first time since it was all zeros at 8 apiece.
Nice find by Parker Green.
Hendigas beats it back out top to Subak, who come off of a little slip screen at the elbow from Mahurin. Backing down in the paint, Hendigas, wild running hook shot, won't go. Meade, though, cleans up the offensive glass. He has 5 here early in the first half as the Lions jump back out on top, 10-8. Double nickel, full court man-to-man press this time for Browns Ball Club. Minute and a half gone by in the period. 10-8, Salem on top.
I think you mentioned in your pregame we needed to keep them off the offensive board, and they have a couple of second chance points.
Beautiful split of 2 defenders. He races back, gets the poke away from behind. Great job as he nearly comes up with the steal, and he will as the Lions turn it over for the 5th time. Abel's all over the place right now, being the spark plug defensively for this group. Holden thought about pulling the trigger, looked back at Clayton and said, I think I'm going to pull it out here so I don't get in trouble. Holden couldn't find the range, had a couple of good looks in that first quarter, though, as Holden goes baseline again, kicks it in the corner to Abels, back out to Sanford. Thought about a step backs again,
Yeah,
steps
he's
back
probing.
again.
Nobody's helping him. Nobody's moving.
Abels has it now on the dribble handoff. 2.5 gone by. Abels nearly loses the handle, has it poked away, and it will be a turnover. Got too fancy with the dribble. Mikey Nichols, a 5'9" senior, likely to check in for him next. Dead ball as Jake Strange swats one into the bottom row and sends Brody Petmeyer with the block as Abels checks out. Frustrated after he come up with such a great effort to get the steal. Comes back and turns it over. Mikey Nichols into the ball game, a 5'9" senior at 5.7 points per game off the bench, and both of them really played pretty well last night.
Yeah, they did. That's it. Like I said, I thought we got contributions from everybody. But you know, the first time Bobby came in the first quarter, it kind of looked like he's a little bit nervous. Didn't really play a bunch in that first Salem game. So, but yeah, you're right. I think for 2 straight games, we've got contributions from everybody.
Brody Petmeyer, runner won't go left side from the baseline, and Harrison clears the defensive glass and then throws it away, trying to throw it to Parker Green. And Coach Sullivan thought it got tipped by Meade. That's an unforced turnover. Turnover number 4 already for the Senators. Lions have turned it over 5 times, 4 of those coming in that first stanza. We're 58 and counting before the half. 10-8, still a low-scoring ball game as Petmeyer resets out front. High post feed to Mahurin, right side. As he looks to feed it out to Meade. Meade can't get it, so now they'll dribble handoff out top to Brody, picked up by Nichols. Nichols applies pressure as they give it up to Mahurin. He dribbles out of trouble in the corner, right back to Petmeyer. And the Lions look a little unsettled here in the half court as they give it up to Hindigus. Picked up by Holden. They'll swing it back around the perimeter as they try to get Hindigus in the post against Holden. Couldn't find him there. And Meade now will drive, take it baseline. Can't get the shot to fall as Mahurin goes over the back of Nichols. Kick out 3. Petmeyer good. Brody Petmeyer has his first points of the night. It's a 13-8 advantage for the Lions. Their largest lead thus far at 5. Gavin Fleming will check in next dead ball as Holden controls, throws it underneath. Nice lob feed. And Jake, oh wow. That one did look clean. It looked like Meade got up enough to reject at 6'4", blocked Jake's shot. Jake thought he had a wide open path to the basket. Got it rejected, and they're going to get Meade maybe on the follow-through on the wrist. That'll be team foul number 4 for the Lions.
Basketball karma, because I thought they went over our back over here before the three-pointer.
And Jake goes to the free throw line, and he's certainly seen his share of struggles from the charity stripe on the season. Well under the 50 percentile mark. And second one long as well. So Jake 0 for 2 on that trip. So the Lions come out of there unscathed other than the foul on Meade. Meade, Hindigus, Mahurin, and Petmeyer all with 1 apiece. Holden comes out, pressures Hindigus. Salem fans getting restless, but there should have been a foul there. Jake all over McCoskey back into the ball game as Hindigus goes flying into the paint off glass, misses another one. Meade on the offensive glass, and now they're going to get McCoskey maybe going over the back of Harrison. I tell you what, the Lions have had some opportunities, Coach, at point-blank range. They just cannot finish.
Yeah, that's what the Senators are.
Not that I'm complaining.
No. We need some of that. But I think Senators they're showing the Lions something a little bit different, I think, from the first time, because they seem a little unsure of themselves as well.
Foul goes on McCoskey. That's his first, team foul number 5, and McCoskey picks up Holden. Holden nearly broke his ankles. Sends it in the corner to Parker, and Parker gets it right back from Harrison. I'll get a screen, frees him up, splits 2 guys, banks it in off the glass around Meade. And Parker into the scoring column, making it now 13-10, coming up on 3 minutes to play in the half, and Parker pokes it away from McCoskey. As we'll see Suvac after a very brief rest check in, and Hindigus is going to check out. We'll also see Brandon Petmeyer check back in, and he's going to spell Meade. So the Petmeyer brothers out there right now with McCoskey, Suvac, and Fleming. Small ball for the Lions indeed. Fleming takes it right into the teeth of the Senator defense as McCoskey cleans up the offensive glass and puts it back up and in. McCoskey's got his first 2 of the night off the bench, make it 15-10. And we'll see 6'1" junior Chase Farmer check in on the next dead ball.
7 of their 15 points of their second chance opportunities. You got to keep them off the board.
Jake in the post working against Fleming as Subak's all over Holden out front. Forces him to change course. Holden goes into the hands of McCoskey playing the passing lane, and then Nichols. Now we're going to have a technical, and Brett Deckard is in the, okay. There's another, he may be gone. Let's, hold on, folks, let's get this thing sorted out. Brett Deckard's face turned 10 shades of red. Okay, we got a foul from Mike Pickens on Parker. He found McCoskey on the breakaway on the left side of the floor. During the breakaway, Parker makes the foul. Mikey comes in from behind and fouls McCoskey again, thinking he's still going up for the shot. McCoskey falls to the floor, and then 3 Lions rally around the 5'9" senior, and Mikey found himself in no man's land with 3 black jerseys around him. So we're going to have a technical foul. I guess they only called one.
Yeah, I only saw him team up one time.
But I guess he called a personal. And Parker Green. So the personal goes on Subak for the shove.
Coach
What he did.
Bousman's getting onto this kid.
And now Coach Bousman over in the face of some of the kids in the cheer block who was down on the floor under the basket. I needs to get a handle on these guys in the cheer block. And he's putting these guys back in their place up on the bleacher where they belong. So Subak picks up the personal, which goes as a technical as well. And now Bob Potter will walk over there as Jerry Hickey and Bob Potter will now both go over and talk to a couple of kids trying to be wise. I'll put it like that. I won't say the other. Trying to be cute over there, and Hickey and Potter. The kid took exception. Another kid took exception to Coach Bousman coming over. So in the midst of all that
So what
mess,
happened down? Did we shoot a free throw down here or no?
No free throw down here. We come down to this end, technical on the ball, and Parker was able to knock down both free throws. Who had that one, Coach?
Holden. Nice little.
Got caught looking down.
Yeah,
15-14 in this chaotic mess that will get sorted out as Hindigus misses another one. So we had the foul on Parker. Then we had a foul on McCoskey, I believe, which would have been team foul number 5. And then Subak gets the technical, which goes as a
free
personal.
throw, though, because we fouled him on the shot.
They called it on the floor. 3 ball in the corner pocket for Parker Green. He's got 7 all in this quarter. Senators back out in front, 17-15. Senator Nation comes to their feet off of that 3-pointer. Back to the other end. Subak answers for 3. That's his first of the night. Lions back in front, 18-17. Minute and a half to go in what's been a wild and frenzied first quarter of play, including a technical and a near fan ejection over in the Salem cheer block. Again, one of their kids was on the floor underneath the basket while Parker was shooting the technical free throws. Coach Bousman puts him back on the bottom bleacher as Holden has another nice razzle-dazzle move in the post, in the paint. Turnaround jumper goes. 19-18, Senators back out in front. They've got their 3rd lead of the night. Back and forth we go. Hindigus back to Subak to Meade under a minute now to play. But again, as the Salem fan was put back up on the bleacher by Coach Bousman, another one stepped off, trying to be cute, sending Jerry Hickey from Salem over to set him down. As Chase Farmer clears a miss from Subak from the wing, and the Senators got a chance here to hold for 1.
Yeah, that was a crazy situation. Coach Bowsen got one guy off, and as soon as he turned his back, another kid came from the other way and jumped back on.
Yeah, the guy down here, the kid on the end jumped off and started mouthing and jawing.
Right,
and
as he was walking away
yeah.
in true hero form.
Yeah. So Bob prompted Jerry Hickey and Bob Potter to go take care of him. So just what you would expect, slugfest in all aspects in this one when these two get together, as Sanford catches Parker, and underneath a fight for the rebound, and before it can get too wild, 1.4, it's going to be a jump ball.
Misses.
And Mike Brown now
Looks like we got somebody split open out there.
Okay, so in the midst of all the other chaos in this second quarter of play, Harrison was able to feed on a flare pass. So they got a little back screen. Parker flares to the right corner. Yep, Parker flares to the right corner where he just hit a three a while ago. Parker shoots the three, misses. Harrison comes flying in from the top of the key, grabs the rim. Didn't have any other chance, and I'm assuming maybe fell. I don't think he got undercut. He may have landed on somebody awkwardly, though.
Well, down below, Caden Abels, and I don't know who it was. It might have been
I didn't see if they bumped
Fleming
heads or if
somebody.
he just,
They were actually tied up, and I think he kind of landed on.
So we have a stoppage of play here
Has cut just under his eye, a lot like where the boxers get them, right underneath.
How fitting, too, because this has been an absolute slugfest. And now the scoreboards have went off as chaos erupts, and now back on. So on the alternating...
This is a nightmare before Christmas.
Oh, instead of the night before or the week before, it's turned into the nightmare before. So now assistant principal Brad Mills goes out to help Coach Bousman clean up the blood spill. And I don't know how bad the cut is under Harrison's eye, if this will be a matter of him getting the old super glue Bub Links treatment or not. But he's holding a Gatorade towel right now, and a trainer from Salem's over
that'd be a huge
tending
loss
to him.
if we can't get him back in at some point. You
Good
know,
news
obviously
is
1.4 seconds to go in the half, so he's got all of halftime. So hopefully they can figure something out.
And I'm going to bet you're going to see one of two things on this inbounds play off the alternating possession, which was a jump ball quickly to avoid trouble because they saw Harrison on the floor as he took a shot. You get a lob attempt to Holden. Farmer catches it, almost gets it to go off glass, and a wild and wacky first half of play. A low-scoring affair will come to a close. 19-18, Senators lead it here at the halftime break. We'll step aside, start collecting some stats and trying to collect our breath a little bit after a wild and woolly second quarter, especially full of technicals and fan interference and everything else. And we'll come back and begin our Senator Halftime Report, brought to you by McDonald's on South Main Street in Salem. You're listening to the Senators in the 2018 Holiday Tournament.
Lynx Clothing and Shoes carries a wide variety of items from name brand clothing and shoes to sports apparel and sporting goods. We offer custom screen printing and embroidery, free gift wrapping, alternations, and layaway. Our hours are Monday through Thursday, 9 to 5:30, Friday, 9 to 6, and Saturday, 9 to 5. We are conveniently located on the north side of the Salem Square. We are a family-owned and operated business. Stop by and see us today. 812-883-4154.
Like we've got McDouble and McChicken coming in. And starting in the center court tonight will be Big Mac. Look on the sidelines, folks. We have Chicken McNuggets cheering tonight alongside those golden delicious fries. Hot and always ready. You'll score points every time you bring the family into Salem McDonald's, right here on Main Street, before or after the game. Don't forget to top off your favorite meal with a cold soft drink, that famous Mickey D sweet tea, or something from their full line of smoothies and McCafe coffee drinks. Order inside from 4 a.m. to 11, or get that one-of-a-kind taste 24 hours at the drive-thru. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
Smith Court we come for our Senator halftime report, brought to you by McDonald's on South Main Street in Salem, home of Coach's Corner most regularly, but due to the construction right now, it's being held at the station. But don't give up on McDonald's. If you're like me, you're probably going through some withdrawals with their sweet tea, out of commission, but they will open back soon enough. So people in the community, please be patient with them as they go through some renovations, and will be open soon enough as it is. Wild, wacky shootout, if you will. Pretty physical matchup in that first half of play. A 19-18 score here at the half as the Senators lead the Lions by 1, as we have had a total of 6 lead changes in this one and 1 tie at 8 apiece. Let's run down the scoring for both of these ball clubs. First for the Lions at the half, big storyline, Xavier Henniges, 0 from the floor, 0 points for him in the first half of play. Landon Suvac has 3 coming in the second quarter from downtown. Myron Mead, 5 points to lead the way for the Lions. He got the scoring going in the ball game, had the first 3 of the night, giving the Lions their first advantage at 3-0 before the Senators roared back to a 6-2 scoring run to give them their first lead at 6-5 with 3 minutes to go in the first quarter of play. Brody Petmeyer and Shane Mahurin also started. Mahurin also with 5 in the first half. Petmeyer with 3 as well. Gavin Fleming, that is, plays off the bench, does not score, as well as Brandon Petmeyer and Reese McCoskey, who actually, had 2 in that first half of play. The Lions go 1 of 2 from the free throw line for 50% in the first half, and they have 5 turnovers, 4 of those 5 coming in the first quarter of play. Meanwhile, for the Senators at the half, they get 8 from Holden Bousman, 4 in each quarter. Caden Abels goes scoreless. Had a good effort, though, defensively in that first half of play. Parker Green was 7, all in the second quarter of play, including 2 of 2 from the free throw line. Harrison Sanford with 2, but right now battling a bloody eye. And Jake Strange with 2 points as well, but 0 of 2 from the stripe. Bobby Stevens and Mikey Nichols, as well as Chase Farmer, have played off the bench, but none of those 3 able to tally, as the Senators go 2 of 4 from the stripe for 50% as well in that first half of action. And they as well had 5 turnovers, with 2 in the first quarter, 3 in the second quarter. It was 6-5 after the first stop. Senators again using that 6-2 scoring run to end the quarter to seize their first lead of the night. And then both teams trading blows back and forth in that second quarter of play and exchanging blows physically, as Suvac took exception to Mikey Nichols' foul or secondary foul. Actually, it was Parker who got whistled for the personal, and then Mikey bumped him. And as McCoskey was getting off of the floor, it was Nichols who got shoved in a little scrum by Suvac. And that's 2 years in a row, if I'm not mistaken, that we've had technicals on Salem in the championship game of the holiday tourney. Last year it got nasty with Hunter Whedon and some of the boys from Eastern in that championship tilt. So a wild and wacky first half of play. Again, 5 turnovers for each team. The Senators and Lions tie it up in that second quarter, each scoring 13. So the Senators clinging to that 1-point advantage at 6-5 here at the half. Coach, you got some additional stats for us?
Yeah, Senators from the field shoot 38%, 8 of 21. Inside the arc, they were 7 of 14, 50%, but just 1 for 7, kind of reminiscent of that first couple of games where they just couldn't buy a bucket from behind the arc. 1 of 7 from downtown for 14%. Like I said, 38% overall. Salem shot 26%. Like you said, they struggled around the rim. I don't know if it was because Jake and Sanford both were very active, and Parker had a block, Abels had a block. We were really active around the rim. The Lions should go 4 of 21 inside the arc for 19%. The only saving grace is they went 3 of 6 from behind the arc, 50%. They knocked down 3 triples. Suvac had a triple, Petmeyer and Mahurin. So 26% overall. So, they were ice cold as well. But I think more than cold shooting from both teams, I thought the defenses were spectacular. And, man, they were aggressive, and they were going toe-to-toe with each other. So very obviously 19-18. That's a very defensive matchup. Rebounding edge goes to Salem, 17 to the Senators 14. we get up 6 offensive rebounds. Like I said, at one point, 7 of their points came from second chance, getting that off, crashing that offensive board. So, you know, in the second half, that the Senators are going to win this, and got to keep taking care of the ball, and we got to keep them off the offensive glass. So, you know, the Senators, 2 blocks, like I said, from Strange. Right now, Sanford, he's big. We need to get him back from that cut. He's got 7 rebounds in the first half, so, you know, going to need him.
And he's back out in the layup lines. It looks like he's got some butterfly or steri strips underneath of that gash under his right eye, so looks like he will be available, thankfully, for the second half of play. As this one's been a wild one thus far, Coach Gibson and I will step aside. We'll take a break as we close out our Senator halftime report. And they're getting ready to draw for the chairs here. They got stadium chairs from Rick and Rita at Links Clothing and Shoes, donating stadium chairs, 1 for each school with the team logos on them. And they will draw for those momentarily, either here at the end of the half or maybe at the end of the third quarter. So as we get set for the start of the second half, we'll step aside, take a break, hear a word from the sponsor, and we'll come back for the third quarter right after this.
With the very best gifts from the very best brands, Ace makes finding the perfect present easier than ever. Wow your family with new and innovative gifts from the Grommet. Or give Dad something he'll really love from his favorite brands like Craftsman, Weber, Traeger, and Yeti. Plus, make your holiday less hectic and save time by buying your gifts online and picking them up in store for free. So this holiday, take everything you love about Christmas and wrap it in red. Only at your neighborhood Ace.
Both teams come back out onto the floor here at the Ron Smith Court as we are ready to get things underway. It'll be for the Lions, Hindegis, Mahurin, Suvac, Meade, and Brody Petmeyer, the original 5. For the Senators, however, a little bit of a change as it will be Chase Farmer into the lineup in place of Harrison Sanford to start things here in this third quarter. Harrison sitting down there looking like Rocky Balboa after 12 rounds. With a little bit of steri strip action going on underneath of that right eye with that gash as Farmer nearly comes up with a big steal on the feed to Meade on the kick out. Hindegis gets his first points of the night. Probably wasn't going to keep him contained forever, Coach, but doing a good job in that first half at least as we got some condensed 2-2-1 full court pressure.
Yeah, that's, you knew, like I said, he was able to eye it up. It's just one of those that happened. We were trying to get a steal, and then all of a sudden they picked up a 50-50 ball, and he's wide open.
So our 7th lead change of the night coming on that 3 by Hindegis. 21-19 your score. Still a packed house here as the Senators go to work in the second half. Farmer has it underneath, kicks it out. Green, wide open 3, right side, got it to go. Parker with a big 3, he's into double figures with 10, and the Senators back out in front at 22-21, our 8th lead change now of the night.
Nice answer by Parker.
Good find by Chase, too,
Absolutely.
on the cross-court kick-out. One of the most underrated passes in at least junior high and high school basketball.
Wow.
As Suvac answers with a 3 now at the other end.
That came right after we thought we got to travel.
Lead change, number 9, 24-22. Abels to the other end to Holden out top. And he's going to take a heat check. Holden can't get it to go. And there to fight for the rebound was Farmer, and he'll get a silly reach from behind on Suvac. So this will be Senators' first personal of the half, and this one will go on Chase Farmer, the 6'1 junior, picking up his first of the night. So Mahurin will reset it across the way. And into Brody Petmeyer it comes as he'll walk it across the timeline and be met at center court by Caden Abels. Lions go into their half-court set as Hindegis controls. Picked up by Holden, right side to Suvac. Another 3, same spot, same answer. As Suvac now has 3 shots made from downtown, and it's 27-22, and then a steal, and Meade underneath gets fouled and knocked to the floor.
Lazy inbounds pass by Parker. Meade gets those long arms on it. Now he's going to the line. This is a critical part of the game. I think, they've really come out on fire. We got to do something to stop the bleeding.
And Meade throws a brick up on the first attempt. He was 1 of 2, the only 2 attempts from the stripe for the Lions in that first half, making now 1 of 3. 27-22, as Gibby said, a critical time right now as Fleming's going to check in if this is a make, and it is. So Meade now has 6, make it 28-22. Folks, that's the largest lead of the night for either team at 6.
Yeah. Senators have to do something to get a score here.
And Hendigas nearly pokes it away, and does off of the heels. Parker and Holden in a bit of trouble, and Coach Sullivan has seen enough. That's going to be turnover number 2 out of the gates from the halftime break for West Washington. Now 7 in the contest, 28-22. Timeout on the floor. It's a 30-second timeout for Coach Sullivan with 5:59 to go here in the third. While we have a moment, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. You're listening to coverage of the 2018 Holiday Tourney presented by First Harrison Bank.
When you're listening to IU Sports, you need to be locked in on WSLM 97.9 FM, your home for IU Sports.
Back to action here. Coach Sullivan burning a 30-second timeout to kind of rally and calm the troops. Lions will have it in a box set. Brody Petmeyer to inbound left side of the floor. Gives it to Meade in the corner. Fakes a handoff. And now they're going to wave off the basket. And we're going to have a foul on the floor. And I think they're going to get Parker for this one, maybe on a hold. Check that. They're going to get 22.
Harrison.
And that's Harrison, who had to change jerseys with some blood. So that's his second. And the third on the team. Lions get to commit a personal as they throw a dangerous inbounds pass, and they get it out to Hendigas, who gives it up to Meade out top. Lost the handle for a moment, picked up by Harrison, now right side. Uses up the dribble, gives it back to Petmeyer, who walks it out near the timeline to reset things. Be a double down screen, a loop through, and off the curl, Suback will get it again, and this time misses almost everything as Holden clears the board over Hendigas. Good matchup in the backcourt here tonight. 2.5 gone by in the quarter, 28-22. Senators trailing it by 6. Abels nearly lost the handle. Holden now drives. Baseline has his shot blocked. And the Salem faithful going to lose their lids again along with Mike Brown as he folds the arms and the pouting begins. Holden will go to the free throw line as this will be team foul number 1 on the Lions in the half, and that's going to be Meade's second time of getting one whistled against him late.
Really need to knock these down, Holden. He really struggled, went 3 of 8 from the line last night.
Brett Deckard explaining to Brody Petmeyer it was on his follow-through swinging down as Holden has struggled from the free throw line this year. Struggled last night, just 3 of 8 all in that second quarter. Knocks down the first one though here tonight. He's got 9, looking for his 10th point to join Parker in double figures. Second free throw on the way is long. Rebound fought for and cleared out to Suback. 28-23, 5-point advantage for Salem here. Nearing the midway point of this third quarter of play. Backdoor lob for Meade was off the mark, and on the poke behind, Parker nearly come up with the steal, and Meade left it short underneath. And the Senators give up another offensive rebound, this time to Gavin Fleming, who gets the hoop and the harm. Senators have got to block out, Coach.
It's like I said, they had 7 second chance points of their 18 in the first, and that's the second time in the second half that the second chance has really killed the Senators.
That one's going to go on Jake Strange, and Fleming at just 5'11" slipped in behind Jake, got the rebound, finishes the old-fashioned three-point play. What a time for his first points of the night, and it's 31-23.
And allows them to set up that press that gave us trouble for about a minute straight there.
Really, again, just a condensed 2-2-1, and they'll feed it in the front court to Sanford. He'll slow things up, give it off to Abels as Senators will reset. Plenty of time still. Coming up on the 4.5-minute mark of this third quarter. Holden goes baseline. Another beautiful finish with a reverse on the left side.
That was a really, really nice move. Looked like he's going to go reverse and then came back to the front side with the offhand.
Holden has 11, nearly come up with a steal. Gambled. Hendigas misses again from downtown, though, as the Senators clear the board as Parker gives it off in the front court now to Holden. To Abels, and Holden will loop through traffic, Look underneath to Sanford. He's bottled up. Double team. Splits a double team on the step through, and a beautiful finish for him off the window with a little smooch. And it's now 31-27. Senators battling back.
Falling back, and that's what you got to have. You got to have some battle. We didn't see it the first time these two teams played, but you're seeing it tonight.
And we did get down early in that first matchup. In fact, so much. And Coleman's going to travel. Turnover number 6. And, Coach, they finally tied it up late, if you remember, in that opener. But like we said in the broadcast, and Coach Sullivan said the same thing in the postgame right before Thanksgiving, they had exerted so much energy. They didn't have anything left in the tank down the stretch.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, more thinking about that first half where we really struggled. But, yeah, that's too late, Jake.
Jake tried to feed Harrison on a 2-on-1 break. Missed opportunity. Hendigus goes into the paint. Runner won't go. Rebound fought for into the hands of Jake Strange on the back tap by Holden. 3:38 counting third quarter. Business picking up once again, 31-27. Farmer will check in with McCoskey for the Lions in the next dead ball. Abels to Parker. Corner pocket. 3-ball won't go. In and out, no good. And the ball tipped around, and Petmeyer comes out there with it, and then it runs into Harrison Sanford. He'll pick up his third personal now on the bump in the backcourt. Team foul number 5. Lions have committed just 1. McCoskey in for the Lions. As we'll also see a substitution, as I said. Chase Farmer back in. He'll spell Jake Strange. I'll talk to him about that missed fast break opportunity.
Yeah, that's what we're able to do it. Meade's on the bench as well, so we're not really losing a whole lot of size there.
Senators right now with Farmer, Abels, Sanford, Green, and Bousman as the Lions miss another layup. The ball last touch by Fleming, battling Holden underneath. 3:03 to go third quarter. Still 31-27. We've hit a little bit of a lull in the scoring as the Lions will back up that 2-2-1 full court pressure now. As Sanford sends it cross court to Abels, and he'll ball fake and bring it across the timeline. Holden has it, works it against McCoskey, now takes a high screen out front. They'll feed it to Abels, 3, corner pocket, right side, no good. Rebound fought for underneath. Harrison had his hands on for a moment before McCoskey slipped in to knock it away. Now they're going to get the foul. Pickens with the late whistle. So Reese McCoskey is going to pick up his second personal. Team foul number 2 against the Lions. Substitution, here's Jake Strange will check in. And he will spell Harrison with those 3 personals, 2:41 to go. Stack set here. Now back to a box look as they step out of it. Holden gets the inbounds pass. He'll screen down for Parker, and they'll try to get Holden in traffic. Ball's on the floor, and the Senators turn it over for the 9th time, 4th of the quarter. Missed opportunity on the inbounds. McCoskey
Jake again,
with it.
too late. He tried to get a cutting hold in Bousman, was too late.
And Petmeyer now tries to regain control off the Hennigan drives. Left side, had his shot altered by Abels. Underneath, got his own rebound, and will have a foul on the floor.
Another
Mike
offensive rebound.
Brown out there spinning around, throwing a fit on the floor again. 2:14 to go in the quarter, and a Senator foul will go on Caden Abels, his first. That's the 6th already against the Senators in the half. Next one with the Lions in the bonus. Suvac will check in. Petmeyer will check out. Hendigas will also check out. So it's Fleming, McCoskey, Suvac out there with Mahurin and Meade right now. 2:14 to go. Chance with Hendigas on the bench to do some more damage, but Fleming hits a little floater going sideways. He's got 5 all in the period. Make it now 33-27, back to a 6-point advantage. Senators certainly within striking distance here as Farmer takes it in the front court, and he'll give it right back to Parker. He stopped, thought about popping, instead gives it off to Holden. Can't get the 3 to go. Farmer with the offensive rebound, couldn't get the layup to go, and then it's going to be last touch by Meade. Senators with a couple of wide open opportunities at point blank range and from downtown, and couldn't get either one of them to fall. Minute 47 to go. Parker to inbound, box set. They'll break Holden to the corner, and now in the post, Parker with a nice hook shot right over Meade. Good move by Parker, feeling the pressure from Meade on the right shoulder. Able to spin baseline and get the hook. He's got 5 in the period, 12 now in the game. 33-29.
Holden going to pick up just his second, I think, but that's going to put him to the line.
Lions in the bonus the rest of the way home, as this one will be whistled against Holden, who picks up personal number 2. Just a shade under a minute and a half to play here in the period. McCoskey will be the one that steps to the free throw line.
Number 30.
Reese McCoskey not even averaging a point per game for the Lions. And his first free throw is banked in.
Too sure he called that one.
I know he didn't. McCoskey, 3 points now on the night, had a 2-point basket in the second quarter of play. Minute 28 to go. Second one is up, and it rattles in and out. Parker controls the board, had it nearly poked away. So 1 of 2 on that trip as Holden struggles in the backcourt against pressure, nowhere to go. Gives it up to Parker now as they break pressure. Strange, baseline jumper right side, rattles home. The big man showing some range with a little 10-foot sharp jumper from the right baseline. It's now 34-31. 65
He's
seconds
out
to
of
play.
control.
Parker gets the steal from Meade. Their 7th turnover, and Parker controls left side. Looks to go against Suback. Kicks it back out to Abels. And Coach Sullivan breaks his sweat as he rolls up the sleeves and goes to work, calling out what he wants in this possession. Holden drives, tries to split 2 defenders, and he'll be fouled. And let's see if they get Meade again.
It's going to be McCoskey.
And let's see. Yeah, you're right, Coach. They're going to get Reese McCoskey instead. Meade was at the scene of the crime, though, as well. He picks up his 3rd, and that's the 3rd on the Lions in the half. 47.7 on the clock. And Holden back to the free throw line. Now 2 of 3 on the night as he hits the first.
Let's go, Holden. Commented on it last night. He never could hit 2 in a row, though. He went 3 of 8. He missed the front end of 1. He never could hit 2 in a row. Let's go. It's perfect time for it.
McCoskey checks out of the ball game. Brody Petmeyer checks back in, and Holden soaks them both. Holden's got 5 in the period. 13 now in the game, matching his total from last night, and it's 34-33.
40 seconds to go. So
see if the Lions can indeed hold for 1 if they're that patient. A lot of movement, a lot of shuffle in and out of the paint by the Lions on this possession. Under a half minute to play.
You got to think Suvac or
double thumbs
Hendigas with about 15 seconds get this ball.
Double thumbs up here for the Lions. And Petmeyer now will send it left side to Hendigas. 10 seconds to play. They're going to put it in the seniors' hands here. Let's see. Senators will have the ball coming out of the quarter break. Double screen out top. Lost the handle. Abels has it on the fast break. Shoots a floater at the buzzer that won't go. He had Chase and Holden following in pursuit. And the 3rd quarter comes to a close. Tighten those seat belts, folks. It's going to be a wild ride in the 4th. Lions lead it by 1 heading into the final frame of regulation. We'll come back to start that 4th quarter after this. You're listening to the Senators in the 2018 Holiday Tourney presented by First Harrison Bank. We'll come back to that 4th quarter right after this.
Caring people make the difference. You can feel it the minute you walk into Meadowview Health and Rehabilitation. Experts in long-term care. Not just doing a job, but following a calling. They're here to help you and your family find answers, solutions, and peace of mind. In fact, they become an extension of your family. For more information about Meadowview, visit ascseniorcare.com or call 812-883-4681. That's 812-883-4681.
Quarter, a big one for the Lions as they finally outscore the Senators in a single period, 16-14, to seize a 1-point lead as we head into the 4th. Senators open up with the rock to begin the final period of regulation as Holden's in there with Mikey Nichols, Parker Green, Jake Strange, and Harrison Sanford to start the 4th. Parker takes it in strong, gets fouled on his way to the hoop, able to finish through contact. He's got 14 on the night, and the Senators have their first lead since it was 22-21 at 35-34. Half minute gone by here in the 4th. Keep that seatbelt strap pulled tight. Hendigas into the paint, kicks wide open. Petmeyer, 3, got it to go left side. Brody Petmeyer with his second triple of the night. He's got 6, make it now 37-35. And the Senators turn it over, and Hendigas somehow finishes an acrobatic shot on turnover number 5 here of the half.
You've got to be stronger in the backcourt.
So Sanford
Holden
picks
picked up his dribble and couldn't find anybody.
5 turnovers in the half, 10 in the game now for the Senators. Harrison picked up the personal, his 4th. Hendigas to the line, just his 5th point of the night off the make. And he finishes the old-fashioned 3-point play. So just like that, it climbs to a 40-35 advantage.
Yeah, you can't let it get too far. Not in this type of game. We got to answer with the bucket here. Beginning of the third quarter, we struggled a little bit with that pressure. So be strong, get it up, run your half court.
Senators down 5 at 40-35. Minute gone by here in the 4th. Nichols has it out top. Uses up the dribble against Suvak to Parker. They'll feed now in the low block to Jake. He'll turn. A little hook shot. Won't go. Rebound fought for, last touch by Salem. 6:55 to go. 40-35. Senators with a box set. Jake on the ball side block. Holden will slip to the corner. He'll get it. Feed it right back to Parker, who lost the handle. Holden trying to pick it up. Brody there to knock it away from Holden, as those two have battled from elementary all the way up. 6:51 to go. And it'll be another reset as the Senators get it into Farmer, who gives the dribble handoff to Holden, and he lets traffic clear to reset it out top. Senators working with a 5-point deficit after leading briefly at 35-34. Parker now drives left side, nowhere to go. Kicks it out to Nichols, to Holden. 3 on the closeout. Meade forces him to shoot just a little off. As Fleming now will fly into Mikey Nichols, and it's going to be a charge going the other way. And Mike Brown loses it with the Salem cheer block, and that's going to be turnover number 8 for the Lions. And that's going to be the first of the night on Fleming. Team foul number 4. And Tim Walker has heard quite a bit from Brown tonight. Gives him a quick explanation and hops to the other end of the floor. And Fleming nearly posted away. Senators got to get some screen action here on this press break.
Baking on Holden to just make a move and get open, but this Lions team is long, man. They get their hands in there.
Got plenty of timeouts. Another poke away, and now it's going to be an over-the-back foul as Meade come over the top of Holden. And so for Meade, that's going to be his 3rd, team foul number 5. Abel set to check in.
Foul number 4. Byron Lee, that's his 3rd, and he's 5th.
Yeah, I thought it was a good call, because if you let a team just be real super physical and go through bodies to make deflections, then yeah, a team's going to struggle. So you got to call those.
Farmer will come out, put another ball handler on the floor as Jake throws it at the feet of Parker. We've got to get ourselves reset here. Holden has it, right side, takes a little slip screen from Parker. 6:15 and counting here in the 4th, 40-35. Need a basket here, and Mikey's going to get called, I think, for an illegal screen. So that's going to be turnover number 6 of the half, now the 11th of the game on the player control. And that'll be team foul number 9. So we will not have free throws here off of that foul. 6:10 and counting. Petmeyer will walk it across and be picked up at the flying W at center court by Abels. Fleming controls now against Strange out top. And they'll run Sue back off of a curl. He'll get into the paint, take contact, can't finish, rebound. As Holden fights for it on the floor, Petmeyer's 3 won't go. Rebound still fought for. Mikey Nichols will come out of there with it, and then Nichols throws it away. And now we'll have a foul on the floor. We did so much work to finally come up with the ball and then pull a boneheaded stunt.
Number 1, Mikey Nichols, that'll be the 10th foul of the Senators.
Team foul number 10. Mikey with the turnover and the personal, his 1st of the night. Team foul number 10 gives Salem the double bonus now the rest of the way home as Meade steps to the line, 2 of 4 on the night.
Apparently Harrison just can't go because we are missing him, I think, on the floor right now.
Substitution for the center.
Meade hits the first, make it 41-35. Fleming checks out with a bum ankle. Nichols will check out as well. Farmer back in. 41-35, Meade to the free throw line. Second free throw is up and long. Rebound fought for, and Holden comes out of there with it. He'll be picked up by Hendigas. Meade to offer the double team. And now we'll have a foul in the backcourt on Hendigas. And Brown will walk away instead of spouting off to Pickerel, or to Pickens.
Fouls are still 10-6 right now, so if it's at least 10. They don't go further than 10, do they? I don't.
Hendigas, I'll get it right in a minute. Hendigas picks up his second, 5.5 minutes to play in regulation. 41-35. Parker has it out top, works against Hendigas, goes off glass for 2 more. More of that, please. 41-37.
Start here, though. Can we get stops?
Meade wild back to the other end, trying to back down Farmer. 4 versus 4. And they'll kick it out instead. Meade has it again, gives it to Mahurin, high post, back out to Suvac, now to Hendigas. Isolated against Holden. Holden gives him space off of the dribble, 5 minutes to play. He'll kick it back out, around the horn it goes to Suvac, left side. Back to Petmeyer, to Meade, right side now as the ball's reversed. And Meade will try to drive, split 2 defenders, and we'll have a bump and a foul on the floor. Pickens with the whistle again. And this one will go against Parker, his third, team foul number 11. Not careful, we'll end up with as many fouls as we had in the girls' game here earlier today against New Wash.
Did they say 56 total fouls in that game?
Free throws. For us.
Free throws.
Meade to the free throw line, and long on that attempt.
Well,
The only
Craig
saving
said there
grace
was
right now.
37 fouls called in the second half alone. So, girls victorious over the Lady Mustangs.
Meade's second free throw up and good, so gets 1 out of 2 on this trip as well. And it's back to a 5-point advantage at 42-37 as Abels will control against Suvac and Hendigas in the backcourt. Parker will offer a little rub screen, get it right back. Stops, pops, 16-foot jumper won't go, trying to fight for the rebound. Can't chase it down as Hendigas comes out of there with it, goes behind the back, feeds corner to Petmeyer. Petmeyer then has it stripped away, and now we'll have a foul on the floor.
Are they calling on us?
And yeah, they're going to get Petmeyer, so it's going to be a turnover. And then Petmeyer whistled for the personal, his second.
Abels seems pretty confident that he's going to the line there. So. Got to knock these down.
Brown trying to play this veteran group of officials like a banjo. So far, no bueno, as you would say, Coach Gibson, as Abel steps to the free throw line at the other end and rattles his first one home. That's his first point of the night.
I thought that so far, I think this crew's done a pretty good job.
42-38. Abels to the free throw line again. And that one rims in and out, no good. Farmer gets shoved to the deck. It's a 5-on-4 break. And they'll try to quickly send it around the horn to Meade, wide open. That one almost missed everything. Barely grazed the front iron, and Holden now will bring it up against Petmeyer. Coming up on the halfway point of this fourth quarter, 42-38. Senators control it. Strange has it, gives it back to Parker, right side, now to Holden. He'll dribble out of trouble and reset it. Coach Sullivan directing traffic. And Abels now has it against Suvac. Goes to go off the dribble, gives it back to Parker. Parker with the fake, gets into the paint, had it poked away, gives it off to Holden, cutting down the lane, counted and one! For Holden Bowsman as he gets through traffic, make it 42-40. And that'll send the sophomore point man to the line. Coach, that brought me out of my seat.
That was a nice find. Nice job. The fans were wanting to travel, but it actually was Meade got his hand in there and knocked the ball away. Parker, nice. Didn't panic. You got to love it.
Holden soaks the free throw. And
when
those
you have
two,
a teammate that knows you're here to cut to the basket.
They know each other like the back of their own hand. 42-41. Off the and one by Holden. Lions have it, 1-point lead. Hendigas controls right side. Suvak, deep three, left side, got it to go. That's his 4th triple of the night. He's been deadly.
That's a big shot. Big shot.
45-41, and Petmeyer now shoves Holden as he gives him a sly grin and runs past him to the other end where Holden will set his feet for upcoming free throws. And this will be team foul number 9. And Petmeyer picks up his 3rd.
You know, those seniors, Hendigas and Suvak, they've been through the wars, the county wars, as it were, and man, they're making some big plays.
Holden to the free throw line, soaks the first. He had 13 through 3 quarters of play, spotting 17 now as he's got 4 in the 4th. And rims in and out on that one, no good. Comes up dry, the 2nd attempt. Still a 1-possession game at 45-42. Dipping down to the 3-minute mark.
And it's getting to the point where you got to get stops.
Send it around the horn to Suvak. Now out to Meade. To Hendigas. Hendigas dribble drive. Tries to take things and matters into his own hands.
I think he's calling travel, no?
I thought that's what he was going to call on the little Euro step through on contact instead. Now they're going to count it. I won't say it's bad, but that was terrible.
I could have swore he was calling travel.
And he can't finish the old-fashioned three-point play. Senators catch a break, 47-42. 2:55 and counting. Abel's out front against Suvak. Back to Holden. Holden looks to drive, spins, gets into the paint, left it off for Farmer, who was wide open.
A bit too low.
Loses the handle. Got to be aware of that. When our guys are attacking in the paint, our bigs have to be aware.
Yeah, I mean, it was a little bit too low.
Parker
probably able to handle that pass.
First timeout of the night for the Lions. And it's going to be a full timeout on the floor. 2:37 to play in regulation. Lions lead at 47-42.
Lynx Clothing and Shoes carries a wide variety of items from name brand clothing and shoes to sports apparel and sporting goods. We offer custom screen printing and embroidery, free gift wrapping, alternations, and layaway. Our hours are Monday through Thursday, 9 to 5:30, Friday 9 to 6, and Saturday 9 to 5. We are conveniently located on the north side of the Salem Square and are a family-owned and operated business. Stop by and see us today. 812-883-4154.
Come back to the Ron Smith court out of the full timeout by Salem as the cheer blocks exchange some pleasantries. 2:37 to play, 47-42. It'll be Salem basketball right in front of us again to the scorer's bench. Meade to inbound. Gets it to Hendigas. And Coach Brown calls out Will as they're going to go into a triple stack on the other side. They're going to keep replacing guys off of it. They get it to Hendigas, and he's immediately seeing 3 white jerseys crowd the paint. They'll get it back to Hendigas. He'll go against Holden, spins, nowhere to go with it, shoots a wild shot, and there's Harrison right on the money with a big defensive board as he gets knocked to the floor nearly. They give it up to Abels. Abels will have to race it up, had it nearly poked away. Gets into the paint, gets bumped again, and this one will go on Suvak, his second, team foul number 10. Now both teams in the double bonus. 2-minute warning, 2:04 to play. How's that gel pen holding up, Coach?
Not too bad. There's been a few flurries here where I've been going, steal, deflection, that type of thing. Hey, we're getting to the point now, 2:04, down 5. We can't miss any more free throws.
Abels to the free throw line. First one is up and good. 2 of 3 on the night. All of his points coming from the stripe. Jake will check out. Farmer will check in for defensive purposes. 47-43. First game came down to a wild finish as Borden picks up their first win of the year. 49-44 over Eastern in the consolation game, and Abels knocks them both down. Make it now 47-44. 3-point game, 2 minutes to play. Underneath, Mahurin has it rejected by into the hands of Harrison Sanford, and Mike Brown out on the floor again with his hands thrown out. Abels, nifty move with the basketball, nowhere to go. Sends it cross court. Sanford thought about three. They instead go to Holden on the left side. He'll dribble out of trouble. Look to hand it off. He'll be bumped by Suback as they give it off now to Parker. Parker has it right side. Tries to split a double. Goes to the baseline. Took contact. No foul. Mahurin comes up with the rebound. Minute 24 and counting. Senators in a danger
big.
zone.
Needed a score there.
Need to stop and need it bad here. Senators will start gambling in the passing lanes a little bit as they send it cross court to Meade, and now to Suback underneath to Hendigas. He'll throw it back out wisely. 65 seconds to play, and then they lose. Hendigas wide open underneath. 49-44, 1 minute to play. 5-point game, and Coach Sullivan will burn a timeout. Senators just absolutely falling asleep on that last defensive possession after Hendigas kicked it out. They just gave it right back to him. Everybody left him.
Yeah, that's what they were looking to sideline. Okay, we're going to start fouling. Well, you can't everybody look and just leave a guy underneath. And Petmeyer was aware enough to find Hendigas underneath for an easy two.
Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. You're listening to coverage of the 2018 Holiday Tourney presented by First Harrison Bank on your leader for Southern Indiana sports coverage, WSLM.
When you're listening to IU Sports, you need to be locked in on WSLM 97.9 FM, your home for IU Sports.
Senators will answer out of the timeout with Bousman, Green, Abels, Sanford, and Strange. Lions yet to break the huddle. 54.2 on the clock on the game reset. 49-44, both teams in the double bonus. Lions will answer back with Suback, Hendigas, Meade, Petmeyer, and Mahurin, their original starting five. Parker to inbound in front of us. They give it up to Abels in the backcourt. They'll bring it across the timeline, go behind the back, picked up by Hendigas. They'll try to free up Holden, and Brett Deckard will call a double dribble on Abels. Costly turnover, turnover number 9 of the half, 14th of the game. 47.9 on the clock. Senators trailing it by 5.
We don't get a turnover here.
45 seconds to go. We'll see a little run and jump now. He gives it quickly back up to Petmeyer to Hendigas.
At some point, you got to foul.
Going to have to give one up. Holden tried to give one up there. They didn't call it. And now Parker will give one up on Hendigas. Double bonus with 30.4. Check that. They're going to get Holden before Parker come on the help side. So Holden picks up his third. Team foul number 12. And Hendigas to the free throw line, a 90% free throw shooter.
One on the line. I mean, there's one. We had perfect opportunities to foul anybody else but him, and we didn't do it.
That's simple game recognition, coach, and knowing your scouting report. 50-44. Farmer out, Strange in.
You know, Meade's 4 for 8. That would have been a nice, he had the ball a couple times there.
Yeah, I think Meade would have to be your target here as Hendigas hits them both.
But it might be too little too late now.
51-44, Abels has got to go. Gonna have to look for a three quick here, maybe get a pump fake or get an and one, get some contact as Harrison takes a contact underneath, misses, puts it back up off the glass for 2 more, and a timeout by Coach Sullivan. 16.4 on the clock, it's 51-46, and it'll be another full timeout. Coach Sullivan with plenty left in his pocket. And we'll step aside. We'll take a quick break as well.
Temple & Temple has a long history of being a reliable contractor that provides a superior service. Established in 1948, 2 brothers, Walter Temple and Howard Temple, founded this company. with a commitment to quality and a knack for doing that which others couldn't. After being in business for 70 years, Temple & Temple still holds true to the ideals of its founder, providing unique solutions to even the toughest problems. Temple & Temple has found there is no substitute for experience and a tradition of excellent work. Excavating, paving, concrete work, and bridge work are just a few of the categories the company has worked within over the years. No matter what the challenge, Temple & Temple will find the answer for your solution.
16.4 on the clock. Senators to apply full court pressure. Can't give up the home run ball as they try to break Hindigus long. They can't get it to him. Got to give up the foul right now. I don't know what Abels was waiting on, as they'll give up the personal. That'll be the team's 13th. Abels will pick up his second. It'll send Brody Petmeyer to the line for 2 opportunities. He has not shot a free throw tonight. 14.4 on the clock, 51-46. And Petmeyer misses the first, leaves the door slightly cracked. Offense for defense, Nichols and Strange checks in. Farmer and Saford, the 2 juniors, check out. Petmeyer to toe the line once more. Second free throw upcoming, and that one true. He's got 7 on the night, make it 52-46. They get it into Parker, leaves it off now for Nichols. Nichols has got to go. He's trying to move laterally, and they feed underneath to Jake, who gets fouled and can't convert. That would have been a big and one with 6.3. It would have at least made it a chance for a 1-possession ball game. Jake Strange to the free throw line. Again, it's been a struggle for Jake this season, under 50%.
Yeah.
And the first one long.
People are going to start, if he doesn't get that fixed, people is going to be hack-a-shack on him anytime he...
Yep, you're exactly right, Coach. 52-46, 6.3 on the clock. Jake's second one on the way. First one was long, and that one rattles through. 5 for Jake, 47-52. Salem will answer with a 1-4 press break against the full court man-to-man. And they're just going to let them dribble this one out. And Hindigus going to let the time expire. And the Senators are going to fall on a heartbreaker here. 52-47 is your final, as the Senators fall in a tough one to Salem during this championship game of the 2018 Holiday Tourney presented by First Harrison Bank. As we will have the presentation of the tournament plaques, including the alternate team, which the media got to vote on. We cast our votes, so we'll see how they were tabulated, Coach, see how close we were on our picks. As the Senators, Lions, Braves, and Musketeers are all still in the house here to see who's going to take home the alternate team honors. Salem cheer block trying to be cute at the moment. And thankfully Clyde gets the mic. It quiets them down. So have our alternative team selections. Jacob Robinson makes it from the Borden Braves again, who won in the consolation matchup 49-44. Picking up their first win of the year. And Parker Walton from Eastern also makes the team. We're 2 for 2, Coach. From West Washington, Holden Bousman makes the alternate team. 3 for 3.
From West Washington, Parker Green.
Parker Green also makes the alternate team. 4 for 4. And then for Salem, they'll have 2 representatives. Xavier Hindigus, who was held in check for the most part tonight. 12 points, most of them coming in the 4th. And Landon Subak.
That is your alternate team.
So Not too bad, Coach. We went 5
Yeah.
out of 6. We had a vote for Meade after his work he did
I
against
thought
the.
both nights. If you're counting
He
both
was solid
nights,
both nights,
yeah, I think
especially
he
against the
deserved to be on.
Musketeers. So 5 out of 6 ain't bad.
But
Most important
Suvak
thing,
did. He hit some big shots tonight.
He did.
He hit 4 or 7, right?
Yep.
From 3, just on 3-pointers.
Most
A
important,
couple of them were daggers, as
most
you'd like to
important
say.
thing is Senators able to come away with a sophomore scoring duo on the alternative team. And so with that said, we'll step aside, take a break as they're getting ready to present the championship plaque. We'll step aside, take our own break here, and come back with our Senator post game right after this.
For 80 years, Eddie Gilstrap Motors in Salem has made thousands of both car and truck shoppers car and truck buyers. And that commitment to customer sales and service continues to pay off. It's more than low prices and incentives and service after the sale. You've been hearing that for the second year in a row, they've been awarded the 2017 Ford President's Award. I mean, to win something that only 340 Ford dealerships across the country out of over 5,000, well, that's pretty special, wouldn't you say? The President's Award is based upon achieving the highest level of customer sales, service satisfaction, and overall experience. And the credit not only goes to manager Steve Motzinger and his entire staff, but to you, the buying public. If you've already purchased a new or pre-owned Ford, car, truck, or SUV from Eddie Gilstrap Motors, you already know what we mean. Congratulations from everyone at WSLM Radio. Eddie Gilstrap Motors, your #1 choice. On the web at EddieGilstrapMotorsINC.com.
We're here at McDonald's Gymnasium for tonight's game. It's time to introduce the starting lineup, and the crowd is on their feet, and they're going wild. And here comes the new players. We've got the premium quarter pounders coming in tonight, alongside the chicken classic sandwiches. Playing forward tonight, we have got one-of-a-kind McWrap. Guarding your hunger, it looks like we've got McDouble and McChicken coming in. And starting in the center court tonight will be Big Mac. Look on the sidelines, folks. We have Chicken McNuggets cheering tonight alongside those golden delicious fries. Hot and always ready. You'll score points every time you bring the family into Salem McDonald's, right here on Main Street, before or after the game. Don't forget to top off your favorite meal with a cold soft drink, that famous Mickey D sweet tea, or something from their full line of smoothies and McCafe coffee drinks. Order inside from 4 a.m. to 11, or get that one-of-a-kind taste 24 hours at the drive-thru. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
We come to the Ron Smith Court to begin our Senator post-game show, brought to you by Ace Hardware in Salem. Be sure to stop in and check out their holiday deals and steals with their December bargains of the month as the Senators fall here tonight in the championship game, 52-47 the final score. Coach, a little bit different outlook than the last time, and they certainly gave chase and gave battle all night, but down the stretch just missed some opportunities. You know, I don't –